Check it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tsum Tsumers, Robbett here. We've got the Disney Storybooks event, and we last left off with 100% completion of the second book, Pocahontas. It's time to push forward and open the third book, Snow White. The first mission of this map is to make a 15 chain in a single play. The straightforward way to approach this is to simply eliminate as many of 4 Tsums on the board as possible, and link up the remaining Tsum. Another approach is to use a converter, like Eeyore from my last video who makes more Eeyore, or a Tsum like Chip who summons Dale and can be linked together. I'm going to use yet another approach, which is to use the original Rapunzel. I guess that makes her the not happy version, because her skill allows you to connect different types of Tsum and clear them. My Rapunzel is actually skill level 5 and can clear up to 28 Tsum, but the pattern I linked ends as it hits the wall, and it's only 16. No worries, we've still cleared the mission. Next, we have to clear Fever 25 times in total. Nothing for me to tell you to do here, just use your favorite Tsum and get into Fever over, and over again. I've chosen to use Jasmine from Aladdin, who I have at skill level 3. She's a wavy horizontal popper, and I find her interesting because she's got one of the most irregular Tsum shapes. Because of her hair, she's much more of an oval than a circle. Anyhow, I'm going to use her a ton. Oops, I edited it all away. Done. Next, it's time to earn 400 experience in a single play. Experience is a byproduct of score, so as usual I'm going to be lazy and use Beast because I know I'm the best. You get 100 experience for starting the game, and then it's a sliding scale where you get less experience the higher your score goes. At around 500,000 points, we've got 200 experience. It's not until 1.25 million that we hit 400 experience. Note that player level bonuses don't impact experience, so if you're having trouble reaching 400, you might try the pre-game bonuses and potentially try to create experience bubbles. Experience bubbles occur when you make chains of 11 to 18, but the sweet spot is in the mid-teens. Each experience bubble will give you another 10 experience when popped. Now that we've completed that, it's treasure chest time. There were 2 treasure chest stages in book 2 and mixed results for me. I got 4 out of 1 and barely managed 5 out of the other. Let's see what we can do. It is really not starting well. I've managed to use almost half of the time and haven't gotten my skill up. Now we're down to 15 seconds before the second chest is broken open. And the third chest? Barely before the clock reaches 0. It's at this point, days after I've actually finished the event, that I'm wondering if you pause and hit try again if you can have another shot at this. Moving on. Time to clear 100 black Tsum in a single play. More than any special Tsum with unique skill, this is all about chaining and bursting as many of that one Tsum you select and playing again until you get it done. The one exception to that, at least that I can think of, would be to use Oswald, the Tsum that's a reward from bingo cards. His skill replaces the board with only him and one other Tsum for a limited time, so for those few seconds you can clear a lot of black Tsum. If you're having trouble, give that a shot. I'm going to use Darth Vader at lowly skill level 1 simply because he's so cool. It took me a few tries. I kept ending up in the 90s. I could have used the 5 to 4 and time bonuses to help out, but if you play a few times, the odds are good that you'll randomly get one game where your black Tsum drops more than some of the others, and the result will hopefully be 100 Tsums cleared. Alright, clear 10 big Tsum in total. Luckily, this is an in total mission, because if you don't have an inflator, it's pretty tough to randomly generate that many big Tsum through linking long chains. If you've got Baymax or Sully, this mission is totally doable in a single play. Otherwise, Alice can also inflate, but she only makes one big Tsum per skill usage. I'm going to use Sully and chain my way to completion. Next, we have to earn 800 coins in a single play. Overall, I'd say Book 3, Snow White, is filled with medium difficulty missions, but this may be one of the harder ones for newer players. You're going to want to use your Tsum with the best coin output, which doesn't necessarily correlate with high scores. If you're close but can't get there, you'll want to experiment with using the 5 to 4, time, and coin bonuses in the pregame to help out. Any sufficiently high-level Tsum, regardless of skill type, should be able to get 1,000 coins or better. I'm going to use Belle, who's skill level 5, because I don't use her that much anymore, specifically because her coin output isn't great, but she's still a good Tsum and deserves some playtime. Belle is a horizontal popper, but she does sort of a loop-de-loop, and it's technically in the shape of a heart, something to remember for a future mission. Despite lacking coin prowess, Belle gets the job done without bonuses, and I manage over 1,000 coins. We're back at another treasure chest. Sure, the stakes aren't particularly high, but is redemption at hand? Let's find out. This time I'm going with Miss Bunny. She's a marvel of magic bubble making, and I think she's got what it takes. In and out of the first chest with 46 seconds to go. Second one's down with 36 seconds to go. Third one's been broken wide open with 26 seconds to go. There's a trend here. 13 seconds left and only one remaining treasure chest. I wouldn't celebrate yet, but I feel good about this run. There we go. Redemption indeed. We've got another in total mission, so no rush on completion. We need to clear 600 my Tsum. I'm going to use my favorite basic Tsum, Eeyore, because he converts other Tsum into himself when his skill is used. Not only does it make skill chaining relatively easy, but every time you do it, you're clearing my Tsum, which should speed up the road to 600. Next, we need to activate a skill 6 times in a single play. I'd say this mission is right on the edge of medium difficulty. Most of the time with average play and assume that isn't high level, you're probably only going to get 4 or 5 skills activated. Once you get higher skill levels, it should become easier to get skills off. If you're having trouble, go back to the old standbys of 5 to 4 and time bonuses. I'm going to use Holiday Donald because I want to show off his unique skill. When Holiday Donald's skill is active, any Tsum you tap are cleared instantly. Donald knows what's up, and we're through to the next mission. Time to pop 20 score bubbles in total. Since you're not limited to a single game, you can take your time if need be, and make long chains. I covered it in the last video, but you really want chains of 20 plus to ensure you'll produce score bubbles. Other than using a dedicated bubble maker like Miss Bunny or someone like Moana, the best way to do it is use a burst Tsum of sufficient skill that will burst those 20 plus Tsum. I'm back to using Beast because I know he'll guarantee me at least 5 score bubbles per play. I'm guessing you don't want to watch 20 Beast skills though, so we'll fast forward. Heck, we'll even change it up a little and use Maximus because he'll get a bonus. And then I'll go back to Beast because his skill level is higher. Moving on. We need to make a 25 chain in a single play. I'd say a 25 chain is getting to the point where while it's totally doable, especially since you only have to do it once, it'll start to be hard to do it through normal clearing. Individual Tsums other than the one you want or spacing can get in the way of a successful chain. Don't worry, you can totally do it. That being said, there are Tsum with skills that can definitely help. I showed Rapunzel earlier, and at sufficiently high skill level she can make 25 happen easily. I've chosen to use Sully because big Tsum count as 5 individual Tsum even in terms of chains. That means if I use his skill and get 4 big Tsum, when I link those together I'm already at a 20 chain. In this case I left a bunch of Sully on the board as well, and that means a 35 chain. Not bad. We've made our way to the key stage, and we need to pop 19 magical bubbles in one play. I really suggest you use a bubble maker for this mission if you have one. Blue Fairy, Horn Hat Mickey, Marie, Miss Bunny, Moana, and Parade Tinkerbell will all help out tremendously. If you don't have any of them, I suggest turning on 5-4, time, and bubble bonuses. Then you're going to need to make 19 chains of 6 or longer. It's doable, but tough. Miss Bunny is my personal favorite, and she's going to clear this with ease. I managed to pop 47 bubbles with her, and the key is ours. The Mulan book opens up, but we're going for 100%, so we're back to the missions. We need to get 10 million score in total using a yellow Tsum. It turns out, Beast is yellow. Would have thought it. That's too easy, and boring though. I've brought Robbett to this scoring showdown. His skill is a variation of the skill I showed in my last video with Surprise Elsa. When you activate the skill, carrots will show up in the center of the board. You can tap individual carrots or swipe across groups of them, and they'll burst the Tsum in that area. Okay, so Robbett only got 1 million, but that's alright. Let's try out C-3PO. Good old neurotic golden C-3PO. When you use his skill, he dawdles out, but R2-D2 comes out and pushes him off the screen, horizontally bursting Tsum. I haven't used him in a long time, and I'm pleasantly surprised at his decently high score. Next, we'll make it easy and use Happy Rapunzel. I haven't used her enough to get a really good score with her, but the 50% character bonus goes a long way. If you didn't catch my Tangled Tsum video, she allows you to link different Tsum after activating her skill and then clears the surrounding Tsum. I use her a second time and with the bonus get an amazing 4.1 million. Mission complete. The next mission is to use a Princess Tsum and get 6 fevers in a single play. Why rock the boat? We'll leave Happy Rapunzel and go for it. The goal is to use her skill or any large-scale burst Tsum and re-enter fever immediately after exiting. I'm still getting used to her though, and if there's a gap between Tsum when you drag to connect, sometimes she just stops. No fever from that, and it burns a lot of time. In the end, I only get 5 fevers. But she's got a character bonus, and that's 6 in total. Our next mission is to use a Tsum with red cheeks and get 450 experience in a single play. There are a surprising number of Tsum with red cheeks, some you might not even think of, like Lotso, who is, well, reddish all over. I've chosen to go with Moana and see what she can do, but I'm hedging a little by adding the experience bonus to get the extra 10%. My Moana is only skill level 2, so it might be a little tricky. Due to her skill level, she doesn't produce a lot of score with her skill itself, but any Moana Tsum she pops turn into bubbles. In this case, most of those bubbles are turning out to be score bubbles, and that's helping a ton. There are a few experience bubbles as well, and the 10% experience bonus is actually calculated while you're playing, not at the end. All of that together, and with only a few seconds to spare, we reach 460 experience. Now we need to clear 5 time bubbles in total with a black Tsum. That in total part gives us a lot of leeway to get this done. Time bubbles are almost guaranteed to be created whenever you create a Tsum chain between size 9 and 12. If you're slightly outside of that range, there's still a chance you might get one. I've decided to use Conductor Mickey because he's a black Tsum, and as you pop his magical notes, each one tends to leave a bubble behind. The first skill leaves 4 bubbles behind, but none of them are time bubbles. The second actually leaves 2 coin bubbles and 1 time bubble, so we're on our way. The third skill leaves behind 2 score bubbles and another time bubble. The fourth leaves another time bubble. We're getting there. No time bubbles in the 5th or 6th skills. None in the 7th either. The 8th skill gives us our 4th time bubble. We're so close. Time runs out as I finish one last chain. It turns out it was an 11 chain, and a time bubble shows up after the game is over. Not to worry, the last bonus cleans up any bubbles, and there we go, the mission's complete in a single play. Only 1 round left to play. We need to score 2 million in a single play using a Tsum with round ears. Conductor Mickey has round ears, and I just got 2.5 million with him, so let's do it. The play ends with 1.9 million. With my player bonus, that's a cool 2.4 million in total. As such, we've completed 100% of the Snow White book. Our reward is another premium ticket, very nice. The Mulan book opens up, but that will have to wait until the next video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please chain the like button. For the latest Tsum Tsum and Puni Puni information, subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitter, and don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications. Until the next video, good luck with the storybook.